Hello everyone, my name is Brandy, I'm 28 years old, and yesterday I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. I will start you at the beginning. It was a normal Wednesday night. I was using the computer at my dining room table, and I experienced a feeling in my hand. I felt moving in my hand that I wasn't doing. And I looked down at my hand, and trying to give you the best view, from my pinky finger to my pointer finger, my hand clenched on its own, and I couldn't open it. So I'd gone over to my boyfriend and said, I can't open my hand. So we kind of pried it open, I rubbed it, and my hand went completely numb. Like, it literally felt like somebody had put Novocaine or something in my fingers. They were numb. I rubbed my hand. The tingling, numbing sensation went away. But at the same time, I remember looking at my boyfriend and him saying, "Are you crying?" I said, "No, my eyelid on this side of my face was twitching, and I was wiping it with my thumb to kind of like get it to stop, kind of rubbing it out. And as I was doing that, I felt from the side of my nose on this side to along my cheekbone, basically, was that same numbing sensation that was in my fingers. I will never be able to explain why I brushed it off. You know, my thought process went to, I need to get my kids to bed. I need to, feed them supper, get them to bed. They have school tomorrow. A normal mommy mode. I brushed it off. I thought maybe I was clenched up my shoulder wrong and it was a pinched nerve or something. I brushed it off. So the following morning, I called my grandparents and talked to my grandmother and told my grandmother about it. And at the time, my mother was at my grandparents' house, and my grandmother had said, "I'd like you to tell this to your mother. I don't like the sounds of this. Tell this to your mother." So I told my mom, and immediately my mom said, "Get off the phone. We're going to the hospital. Can somebody take you? Who can take you? We're going to the hospital." So, my boyfriend was working, so she said, "I'm coming to get you." So she came and got me, and we went to the emergency room that day. At the emergency room doctor basically explained to me that there was nothing emergent that they could treat me for at that time. The only thing I was experiencing shoulder pain in the same arm that I had clenched. It felt like I had been lifting weights for the same muscle soreness as working out. So, he had explained the only other thing that they could do was take a head CT, make sure that this was not a physical reaction of something that was going on in my head. So they took a head CT, and he comes back and he says, "There's a shadow on your CT." And at that point in time, I had no idea what that meant. I didn't know what it meant. And he said, it could be a number of things. It could be a shadow on the CT. It could be nothing. Could be a cyst. Could be just your brain. But we don't know, so we need you to come in tomorrow and have an MRI done. I went in the next day to have the MRI done, and I don't know about anybody else's experiences, but I'm very claustrophobic. And I had thought, okay, I'll muster through this, I'll buck up, I can do this. I got to the point of being in the room where they were going to do the MRI. I was unbelievably nervous. I was shaking, I was sweating. I literally sweat right through my shirt. So I get up to the point of laying on the table. They put the washcloth over my face. And when you're having an MRI done of your head, they have this, I keep calling it a cage helmet-like thing that they have to put over your face, and it clicks on the opposite side. It goes like this, and it clicks. I was fine until I heard that click, and I panicked. I started to breathe fast, and they said, okay, let's get you out of this. Let's admit you to the emergency room, and we'll get you something to help you. So they brought me to the emergency room. They ended up giving me some Ativan to calm me down. I was still able to walk, still able to talk, but it was kind of like, at that point, I really didn't care what they were doing. So they gave me the MRI. I made it through it. And when the MRI was all over, the emergency room doctor came back into the room. He said, listen, I've consulted with a neurosurgeon. There's something on your MRI. We know, as of now, from consulting with the neurosurgeon, that it's not infection, it's not fluid, and it's not blood. It's some type of a mass. I mean, you hear some type of a mass, and let me tell you right now, there are a number of things that go through your head. It is a very life-death situation that I've never experienced. Honestly, I've never experienced. And I can't really relate it to anything else. So he said, we're going to set you up with an appointment for the neurosurgeon. They'll call you this day, an appointment type deal. Let me tell you, those next week and a half was probably the worst time in my life. When you don't know what's going on in your body, what it is, they showed me the MRI, but at the time, being sedated, it really didn't make sense to me. Excuse me for a second. Excuse me, I forgot to bring up the fact that what happened in my hand at the ER doctor, they ended up putting me on, once they found that there was something in my head, they basically explained to me that what happened to my hand and what happened to my face was a partial seizure. So they put me on a medication, anti-seizure medication called Keppra, and I was to start it immediately. This is not an experience that everyone will have. I'm just telling you about my story and my experiences. I had the worst time on Keppra. I was confused. I had a hard time talking the right way that I wanted to talk. I was sleepy. It was not for me. I couldn't take it. Well, I did take it, but it didn't go well with me. So I had spoke to the neurosurgeon's office when they called to make the appointment to see the to see him, and said, listen, this Keppra is not working for me, and explained all of the things. So that's, if something is not feeling right, tell them. Tell your doctors, tell your nurses, whatever. They automatically or immediately switched me to Dilantin, another anti-seizure med, and it's like it's day and night. It's unbelievable how different. So I waited, and the one thing I can say when you are faced with something like this is I can say with brutal honesty, I have never been a very religious person. I've experienced things in my life that I do believe that I was angry about, and kind of said, if there is, then why would he do this? It was different this time. I think I was looking for something bigger than me, that I can't control this. There's nothing I can do. I needed somebody more. And I mean, I if anybody isn't religious or is religious, I mean, that's not completely where I'm going with this. I just wanted to say I did reach out, and the amount of people and support that I had found was overwhelming. Prayers and thoughts and everything. Not that I would say that it would be a good thing that it would take something like this to show you how many people love you, but it definitely does. I think my main reason that I wanted to do a video and post a video and talk about it, I'm a very shy person. I don't do things like this. But what I wanted to say to anybody who was watching this at all, if I know that I did research on my own, and I turned to YouTube. I turned to the internet, and I did look. I'm not saying to do that. I'm just saying I did look. If you're going through something like this, there is one bit of advice that I want to give to people is if you experience any symptoms of anything and you feel like it is not right. Because before my hand clenched, I had headaches, I had dizzy spells, I had blurred visions, and I always I made an excuse for why this was happening, why these things would happen. I was dehydrated, I didn't drink coffee that day, I was overtired, I read for too long. I would make an excuse every time and say, I'm fine. If you feel like there is something wrong in your body, take the time. Take care of yourself. Take the time. Go to the doctors. Because if you're a person like I am, and or a mother, and you've always put other people first, you can't be there for those people if you're not healthy yourself. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've taken out of this, is that you can't be there for them if you're not there. I mean, that's as blatant as I can get. At this point in time, I have been scheduled to have an operation. They are going to remove a portion of the mass to biopsy. I don't know. We don't know yet anything more about my tumor than it's there, and they're going to do an operation to remove some and have it biopsied, and then we'll go from there with treatment. I'll try as much as I can to keep you guys updated. If you want to follow along with my story, if you get comfort from my story, if you want to subscribe to me, message me, find me in any way possible, the more, I would love it. I would love the support. I would love, if you're someone who's been in this place and beaten it, been beyond it, and you could help me and support me and give me confidence and be there for me, I'd love that too. So, all I can say, people, is thoughts and prayers, and I'll see you as soon as I can. Thanks.